All right. I want to ask this question to everybody because, as the almost pretty much number one NFC North pod, this question has not been asked outright just yet. But let's start with Mito. Which other team in the NFC North scares you the most?
I wouldn't say scare. Only scared of the man above, but it's the Bears. Weirdly, but it's because
Let's go.
it's the it's the unknown that scares me, because the Bears could be a team that they're not going to win 12 games, but I guess
Probably not. No.
Ryan. I don't know. I forgot who Ryan compared earlier, and I brought up Salma Hayek. It's been a long day, but I mean, it's a possibility that the Bears are actually good, which is wild to think of. The Lions don't scare me much because we know what we have to do to beat them. We've done it before. And I think their team has slightly gotten a little worse, and that's just because of the change in coaches. I think Jared Goff is going to come back to Jared Goff of the old. And Vikings don't scare me with J.J. McCarthy. So, in short, it's the Bears, and it's just because of we don't know what it's going to look like, pretty much. Ben Johnson can come out, and the Bears have one of the best offenses in the league. Or Ben Johnson shows, like Lions fans have been telling us all offseason, that it was all Dan Campbell. Just depends, you know?
What about you, Matt?
I mean, I'm a Bears fan, bro. All the teams scare me. You know, all the teams were good last year. The division is friggin' loaded. Like, if I had to pick one team, I mean, it's the Packers. The Packers own us. They have beaten us. Yeah, I know we beat them in 2025 to, lose 4 draft slots, which was great. That was a fun win. But yeah, I think as a Bears fan, you're just scared of the Packers until further notice. I still think the Lions have a better roster than us. The Vikings probably still have a better roster than us. But yeah, as far as scared goes, every time we play the Packers, I'm scared. I'm still at the point with the Lions, like maybe one more year, but still in the back of my head, I'm like, come on, it's the Lions. Anything could happen.
So I want to ask about this because I've never been able to think of this from the outside perspective for obvious reasons. But when do we transcend from being the lowly SOL Lions to just having a different image of people? Like, when does that change completely for you, do you think? One more year?
This is the year, because in the NFL, in my mind, there's 2 ways to sustain success and be an elite franchise. You have an elite quarterback who makes everyone around him better despite whatever happens. You guys don't have that. Jared Goff is a good player. He's not a great player. Or you have a play caller, Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay, Matt LaFleur, that makes a difference and just makes all the dudes on his offense, puts them in a spot to succeed. So those are the 2 things in my head that you can't replace. The Chiefs have both. They've been to a bajillion Super Bowls. So if this year the Lions come out and they're offensively, they look awesome, I'll be like, damn, it wasn't Ben Johnson. Jared Goff is a new player. He's like, he's just leveled up, which I think is possible, but chips on the cards on the table. If I had to bet on it now, I'd bet on some offensive regression, but we'll see what happens.
And I'll piggyback off what Matt said. If the Lions come out and you guys are a top 3 offense, I will take back everything I've ever said about Jared Goff.
You're going to eat a shoe on the podcast? Is that what you're going to do?
No.
Let's make it interesting.
You still have to shave your beard for the Pistons making the playoffs, but we won't talk about that.
Oh, man. Don't even talk to me about my beard, bro. I'm so upset right now.
That's fine. But, yeah, if the Lions come out and are a great offense, I will apologize. But like Matt said, it's going to be offensive regression, but I would use a much more severe term. I want to see it unfold.
All right, Jeremy, you're up.
I mean, it's hard to say with certainty how the season is going to work out for both the Bears and the Vikings. There's just like so much variance that could happen that it would not surprise me if either of those teams were 11-6 or 6-11. Like, I think that is probably the range for both of those teams. I was actually surprised to see a stat today that the Vikings had one of the biggest overturns of roster year to year in terms of returning players.
Mm.
Like I think defensively there's a lot of moving parts there. Now I'm a pretty darn big Brian Flores fan, and I think he can make, chicken feed out of what. So I think that team is still going to be strong, but the whole JJ McCarthy of it is also just like, I have no idea where that's going to go. I watched him play at Michigan and I was underwhelmed for a large majority of it. And listen, he's a rookie quarterback, and a really good coaching staff over there that can make good quarterbacks, or so quarterbacks look like good quarterbacks, as we saw last year. But I don't know when it's going to click, if it's going to click. Same thing in Chicago, right? Like they gave Ben Johnson, he's walking into like a surprisingly good situation. And some of that was his own doing, obviously taking a big swing on offensive linemen this offseason to give Caleb Williams everything he could possibly need. But it's very rare that an offensive coordinator hits the ground running with new parts. It's very rare that a quarterback who wasn't taught how to watch film last year suddenly becomes like this guru and understands everything right away. And so I think the week 2 Chicago Bears that the Lions are going to face could look drastically different than the week 18 Chicago Bears that they face, right? Like I think things might be settling in by Thanksgiving for Chicago, but it's not going to be there right away. The only team that leaves that has far fewer questions is the Green Bay Packers, and they're going to remain kind of at the top of my worry list, if you will. But they still have questions to answer. Has that defense truly turned it around? We know it's not going to be as bad as it was under Joe Barry. That was a pretty low bar to set, I would say. But even Jordan Love, I think, still has some questions to answer, and we'll see if the wide receiving core is now better, that they've finally broken the spell of first round wide receivers selected. So the thing that we know about the Packers, generally speaking, though, is like even in transition years, even in quote unquote rebuilding years, they have such a solid foundation of what they do, the coaching staff, the front office, that the bottom of that team is usually 8 wins, right? Like they're going to be a 9-10 win team because they almost always are. And that's going to be, I think, the Lions' challenge, because they have the highest floor of the remaining teams. That's kind of it. Like if I had to boil it down to one sentence, it's that the Packers have the highest floor of any non-Detroit Lions team in the NFC North.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of where I'm at too. Like the Packers are kind of like your consistent, like they're going to be pretty good. I don't think they're going to be great though. Like I don't believe in Jordan Love at all when it comes to being elite. And I know that pains me to hear, but it's just
I love hearing it.
I know he's shown flashes and I know this and that, but he still makes just too many boneheaded decisions for a guy who's been in the NFL for a long time now, whether he's been starting that whole time or not. The Bears are the complete wild card, whatever. They could have 5 wins, they could have 12. Like I don't think they're going to have 12, but
sounds pretty scary to me.
That is scary. The unknown is very scary with the Bears, but the unknown that scares me even more is Minnesota. They still won 14 games last year. JJ McCarthy is a rookie, but he's not a true rookie in every sense of the word, right? Like he probably learned a lot last year, even with 0 playing time. And he kind of got to redshirt a little bit, right? Like he got to come along in a different way than most of them do. And he's got a quarterback whisperer for a coach. Like, I hate the Vikings so much with everything in me, but I respect the hell out of Kevin O'Connell. Like, for the job they did with Sam Darnold, and credit to Darnold too, like he put a lot of work in, but I give a majority of that credit to the coaching staff that did something that no other coaching staff before did, and that was they fixed Sam Darnold. Until, we found some kinks in that later in the year, but, going back to that matchup. But, I mean, all in all, I think the Vikings still have a very good team. They have star power. They have Brian Flores, like Jeremy said, who's a great coordinator as well. I'm most scared of them being a legitimate threat if JJ McCarthy works out. And that's the biggest if in the division, right? Like if he works out, we're going to be in a really bad spot for a long time. That's where my fear is. So
NFC North, some friggin' good coaches, man. We'll see about
Yeah.
Ben Johnson, but that's going to be a murderer's row. It's going to be a fun year, boys.
And I know we haven't had rings to speak of with this division right now, but like, I swear this is the best division I can remember in recent memory. Like, to where every team you can look at and make a case for 10 to 11 wins is absolutely insane. I remember the AFC West being like that when the Raiders had like kind of a semblance of hope a few years back, but nothing comes close for me.
Nothing's going to be easy this year. It's going to be a ton of fun.
No. And then everyone has a tough schedule too, right? Like you're playing the NFC East, you're playing the AFC North. Like,
yeah,
everyone is getting a gauntlet, whether you're playing each other or playing some out of conference games too.